Hello, Globebusters. Yes, of course they're serious. You do? You have? No kidding. Uh-huh. Oh, they'll cure your globitis this week. Thank you. We got one!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Globebusters.
What are you supposed to be, some kind of a cosmonaut?
No, we're exterminators.
And now, here's your host.
And welcome everybody to Globebusters, putting flat Earth to the test. I'm your host, Bob, Xanadude60, and here we are. Another week has gone by, and we're back with another good show for you today. And yeah, got a few different things we're going to be talking about today on Mother's Day. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Karen B, because today is Miss Karen B's birthday. Happy birthday, Karen B.
Oh, happy birthday, Karen. And a double header too with Mother's Day. Wow.
I know, right?
But that's
Yeah,
you only have to get her one gift and then just tell her it's for both.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and I was thinking, wow, Mother's Day, and I was just having a hard time trying to figure out what to name the show, you know, because I was trying to do something Mother's Day themed, and it's like, screw it, I can't think of anything good. But oh well, que sera. So anyway, okay, so we're going to be talking about a few different things. When Austin gets here, we're going to be talking to him about his upcoming debate with Ranty, which ought to be pretty entertaining to say the least. And we got a couple of Level Earth Observer videos that I want to share with you guys, which it's pretty funny. That guy's pretty good. I don't know if you guys know him or not, but Level Earth Observer, he is a big tower crane operator over in the UK. And I really like his sense of humor and, you know, his analytical capabilities. So if you're not subscribed to him, you know, he's definitely worth checking out. Really great guy, and has some fantastic material. So we're going to be talking about a couple of his videos. And then we're going to be looking at some more nonsense, you know, from the space agencies. We got the China satellite. Of course, there's also a China satellite that's supposedly getting ready to crash into Earth. So, yeah. I know, it's crazy. And then we have, let's see. Oh, and what you're looking at right now, guys, my buddy, the PhD electrical engineer, sent this to me, this particular YouTube channel. And so what this is the NASA Mars 2020 Perseverance rover real-time tracker, right? So what we're doing is we're watching real-time footage on Mars, guys.
Oh.
I never thought you'd see that.
I should just do that. I can make this stream in 2 seconds. Do a little lower third, a little picture of this mountain going back and forth, and voila, I get how many people? 223,000 thumbs up. Pretty nice.
Yeah, no shit, huh? And 1.69 million subscribers. Of course, there's only 74 people watching now, but you know, that's pretty crazy.
Wow. They just keep on watching this. They just the images from Devon Island moving around.
Yep.
Wow. This looks like a still image. It doesn't look like anything. It could be
isn't it obvious that that's mud? Like they say, like, we don't know if there's water on Mars. It's like, well, that's mud. So pretty sure you can't have mud without water.
Well, they've declared it, you know, 3 or 4 times. Oh my God, we found water on Mars. You know,
I don't even know if that's true. I mean, if you looked it up, would that be? Did they declare
the way they say they found it is like through these satellite images and
they went to the moon. They couldn't find water there, But when we looked with telescopes from Earth, that's when they determined there was water in the regolith of the moon.
Now they can extract it. Remember, Neil deGrasse was talking about it. Like they're gonna have the water vacuums on the moon, and that's what's gonna power their engine, the whole city there.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be mining. What was it, helium-3 on the moon, right?
Right.
That's old story. It's a story.
Yeah, I mean, they were saying that there's a fortune. It's the whole moon being hollow is completely full of helium-3, and I'm not exactly sure what the application is for helium-3, but
is it theoretical element, right, or whatever it is? Or
I honestly don't.
Oh, no, helium. I think helium-3 is
the helium-3. They say they can power it with a single pin needle or whatever. They can power a city or something. It's what they say. I mean, the deep space crackers. They say that because I caught that one.
Deep space crackers.
See, also helion is a light stable isotope of helium.
Okay.
It was discovered in 1939, so I guess it's not theoretical.
Well, who knows? I guess now that you mention it, I'm like, oh, now I got to look into that.
Yep. Yeah. So
where does it happen? Oh, escaping from the Earth's crust into outer space. They say over millions of years. How did they discover that?
Don't ask that question.
Yeah, I mean, we got to be leaving a huge trail of hydrogen and helium everywhere we go,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they talk about that. It's called escape, atmospheric escape. They also talk, and they have their figures of how much helium and hydrogen is escaping every second. And it's replenished, though, luckily. Gravity doesn't hold it all, unfortunately.
Yeah, so exactly. All right. So, and then let's see, what else do we have to talk about? We have some flat Earth tests that we're going to be talking about and kind of expanding on what we talked about last week. And, oh, hey, there's Iru, and the gang's just about all here now. So there's Iru. I'm going to add him in there. So, and then we have a guy named Lindsay Harris. I don't know if you've seen his videos or not, but I'm going to highlight one of his videos today and kind of turn people onto him. And then one other thing we're going to cover today, and you guys are going to probably hit me over the head for even looking at this, but I was sent a video by Stellium 7, right? You guys know Mike. He's the guy that does the, kind of like the mud flood stuff, but he's looking at the investigations of these things being giant, like pachyderms or
hearts of stone and the Titan Mongo.
Exactly.
Titan.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
So he sent me a video, and it was pretty interesting. Where the heck is it? Where is it? Anyway. Oh, come on. There it is. Okay. So, and it is about concave Earth. And of course, well, if anybody's been around in this community for long, they have, of course, either heard of or run across the infamous Lord Stephen Christ, right?
Peace be upon him.
Yeah. Is he
still
dead
around?
or in jail? I don't know.
He's one of those two.
Yeah,
I
don't know.
Or banned from the internet. One or the other. I think he was already banned from the internet one time.
Well, yeah, he's been in prison, twice for threatening the president, right?
Right.
That's just not smart,
It's not the smart move. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So anyway, so Mike sent me this video. There's actually two of them. This is the shortened version, Concave Earth in a nutshell. And then, of course, there's a much longer one that is 6 hours and 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And I actually started watching the 6 hour and 10 minutes one because when I was watching this video, I will say one thing about Lord Stephen Christ, other than he's a nut job, he is exceedingly talented at graphics, right? He's a fantastic graphic artist. But he's also got a lot of these things really figured out. I really do believe that. I was amazed at how many things he was talking about, what's going on with the glass and lightning discharges and all this stuff. He's really got this all figured out. And what was really interesting is it was falling in line with Cammy's research. I mean, point by point by point. I was just sitting there blown away going, wow. And Cammy's like, well, maybe
what's the difference then? It's just that he thinks that the Earth is concave? Is that it?
Yeah, he thinks it's concave, essentially.
Okay.
And-
So it's
and-
not a lot of difference. Is it a big deal?
Well, we're inside of a ball, not on the outside of a ball. Everything's opposite, right? Instead of the gravity pulling us towards the center, the gravity's pulling you towards away.
Yeah, but does he not realize that you still would have to see curvature?
Yes.
Concave
Yeah.
curvature, right?
That's
other way.
yeah.
So the ocean is actually sitting, look out towards the horizon. The ocean's bending upwards towards
Well,
the center.
we just never see it.
No.
Well, he says because, and this is actually interesting because he came up with an explanation that is actually plausible, and it has to do with the magnetic fields and the way that they're bending the light. Now, obviously, even if the light was bending, if the Earth was actually going up, but the light was bending it so it appeared to be, straight. These tests, like Force the Line or whatever, would reveal that. And this is one of the reasons that one of the very first people that came out suggesting something like Brian Mullins Force the Line or Force the Level, and I forgot what he called it, but it came from a guy named Cyrus Teed, and he actually set out to build this thing down off of an island. Off of Texas somewhere, off of Galveston. I can't remember the name of the island. But so he went down there and they actually started to construct this thing. And I don't know, I think like a year went by or something like that. And he came out on a video and said, you know what, this just isn't plausible. It's just not doable to be able to do this. For multiple reasons. Not that the idea wouldn't work, but it was too much of a construction nightmare, according to him. And so he conceded on that and said, well, so much for that, and gave up on it, right? So, and I don't remember because it's been years since that actually happened, but, the idea was very sound in that it was a force the level type of experiment. Well, not experiment, but whatever you want to call it. You got to be careful with that word experiment, or some people have a cow. But and so he just basically gave up on it, and then I think he threatened the president again and wound up in jail, and we haven't heard from him ever since. So there's this guy Cellular Cosmogony that has kind of taken on his work and using a lot of his old graphics and stuff, and the way that it's edited together, it actually made a lot of sense. I was very, very impressed. And there's a lot of little, really good snippets that are in here that I think technically he has correct. And I'll be sharing those, at later shows. But yeah, I never thought I would ever say this, but and I'm certainly not promoting that the world is concave, but these videos are actually really good. As far as the production value, his technical explanations really do make a lot of sense. And I never thought in a million years I would ever say that because, like I said, he's a complete nut job.
Well, what's his technical explanation for fluid statics?
I don't know.
All right, I just game set match, bro. Fluid statics, but you still got the same problem the globe has.
No, I was impressed with how he was describing the static electricity and sprites and elves and how they're interacting with the firmament, right? Which is really cool. But and that seemed to go right down the line with everything that I have kind of visualized it. I haven't actually done any formal proposal of that, but it made a lot of sense to me. So anyway. It's just something that's there, and like I said, his graphics are fantastic. So it's definitely very visually stimulating if you want to watch these things. But I think if you take a lot of his technical applications and bring it onto a flat Earth, and you can also look at the flat Earth. So if the flat Earth is, we're flat and we have a dome over the top of us, essentially we're enclosed, right? So we're on the inside of something, and who's to say what's on the outside of it? Because even when you look at different models of the universe, like in Vedic cosmology, you have like the multiple eggs or the multiple shells, the multiple levels of the firmaments. It's kind of like everybody is kind of talking about that, but it's just the internal layout that's a little bit different. So I don't know, it's just interesting stuff, so I just wanted to bring it out. But I've gotten way off course, so let's get back and say hi, Jaron, because I didn't introduce you. But
hello.
How's the weather in California today?
It's pretty nice, not bad. So happy everybody's here. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. I want to say happy Mother's Day to my lovely wife on her very first. Well, I guess last year she was with child, so that's kind of Mother's Day. But this year, first Mother's Day with a child out of utero. So happy Mother's Day to Missa and everybody else. Welcome to the show.
Absolutely, yes. Happy Mother's Day, Missa. How's she like being a mother?
She loves it. Yeah, it's great. She's she likes it. Yeah, I don't know, she would like to give up the breastfeeding as soon as possible, but he's a big boob fan.
Yeah, no doubt. Most women that say that, once the baby's teeth start coming in, it's like, okay, right. I can't hang anymore.
I'm done with this.
Yeah, I think that would be a little painful. But anyway, but Maverick is absolutely adorable. I got to say that much. So
thanks. He's cute.
You got a good looking son there, Jaron. He's funny. All right. And obviously Rodrigo is with us. Say hello, Rodrigo.
Hello, everyone. How's it going? Yeah, we've been chatting for a while already. Yeah, Mother's Day, man. It's good. I've been just busy working away on some music for the whole week and being totally in a cave. I barely come out, like being working like 12 hours a day. But yeah, we had we're still on the breastfeed as well. We're a bit. I think my son's a bit.
Oh wow,
older.
You're 6 months ahead of mine, aren't you?
Yeah, we're 1 year. He's 1 and he's going to be 13 months.
And he's not doing any other food?
He does vegetables and different things by himself, and he's walking. But
so in other words,
he's walking.
You guys aren't the kind of parents that keep him on the boob until he's like 8 or 9 years old. I can't believe some people do that.
Yeah, and that's pretty wild. But my wife is looking to a lot of that kind of stuff. But he's still on the breast, and I mean, there's so far so good. He's doing really good on it. It's the best thing for the baby,
without a doubt.
If you can go for 2-3 years, I think that's 3 years. It's I mean, at least in anthropology, we look at that is a particular question that is asked for many, many years. And, what's the age that children are weaned from their mothers? And usually in non-Western societies, it'd be around 3 years old. But, in Africa, 3-year-olds are already running around and doing all kinds of stuff by themselves. Bam.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, tell your wife Happy Mother's Day, and very cool.
In Argentina, it's 12th of October, the Mother's Day. But Happy Mother's Day to every woman out there.
Absolutely.
12th of October in Brazil is the Children's Day. It's like for some reason.
We have like a mixed salad in terms of the dates that we celebrate, right?
People, it's all made up.
Okay.
Right. I mean, how do you decide what day is the day for what, right? If it's
you just have to ask the Jesuits, bro.
Exactly. Yeah. The only thing that we can agree is that every single date that we celebrate is under the Gregorian calendar.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And it's funny about picking dates on that. There were some complications in Cammie's pregnancy with Jaron, right? So they decided that they needed to do a C-section, and they had us pick a date. They gave us a range of dates, and they said, okay, you need to pick a date that that we're going to actually deliver. And it was funny because at that time, this was before Flat Earth, and I had just gotten my Meade LX200 telescope, and I was reading about right around that time of year, August 27th, in fact, was the day that Mars was supposed to be closest to the Earth as it had been in 60,000 years, right? So I looked at that date, and it was right in the window, and I'm like, ooh, that day. So, lo and behold, that was the day that we picked for Jaron, and so now I'm just sitting here going, I wonder what that really meant, really, because I mean, since that whole model is in question, what exactly do they mean that it's closest in the sky or what? I don't even know.
I don't know. I'm starting to think that Mother's Day is a little abortion phobic, so we may need to progress past this.
Okay. Alrighty then. All right. So Iru, you are with us, sir. How are things down in Argentina?
Good. Very calm in this. We are we are upon to finish our lockdown, because here we are going to enter into the winter. So the government start taking again steps towards the lockdown, and they start with typically 15 days. It's just 2 weeks, and we need to close again the business and close again the restaurants and trying to avoid circulation, blah blah blah. And tomorrow is going to be like a new announce of if the lockdown is going to continue or is going to lift up. I don't know how to say exactly, but end the lockdown. Mm-hmm. But beside that, in terms of my personal things, very quiet, which maybe is a little scarce sometimes. I like more, more action. But I am finished a few things in terms of family business. And in 20 days, I hope I can return to Linda's house in Switzerland. So that is why I am a little bit more calm down before the storm.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I hope everything goes well down there. I don't know, how much people are going to let up on this, but hopefully they will a little bit. It's definitely mixed here in the United States. So, each state seems to be kind of doing their own thing. And it's funny because there's like this kind of war going on, the states that aren't requiring vaccines or not vaccines, but masks or lockdowns or anything like that. The other states that are requiring them are basically, calling them out, and it's just ridiculous.
Well, the same thing happened here, and that is why I say this is a little bit calm before the storm, because my biggest concern right now is if I have my flight ticket to 12th of June, and I hope there is not going to be some kind of mandatory vaccine or certificate or things like that to take a flight. Right now, the only thing that you need to take into consideration is the PCR test and that type of practices, which are not, I am not in favor even of that, but at least, it's something that you can manage. But I am still waiting for the, and until the very day where I take the flight is going to be the final judgment for me. I hope everything at least maintain in this situation, which is sad. Of course, it's sad, but at least there is nothing about mandatory with vaccines yet.
Yeah, yet. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, I just hope everything goes well. So I'll be pulling for you.
Thank you.
So, all right, cool. So, and Austin, you finally made it. Are you still over at Mr. Just Jacks?
Yep, and planning on heading out tomorrow morning to go to East Tennessee and Lookout Mountain and make some observations for a few days there.
Oh, awesome. That sounds like that should be fun. So you have something coming up. When did you say it was? Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday, 3 Eastern, but I'm getting him to push it back a couple hours, so 5 Eastern. But I think he's already trying to find a way to wiggle out of it, to be honest. So we'll see if it manifests.
Yeah. It'll be interesting because, he's been kind of, I think I forwarded you the Skype message that he sent to me. And, the first thing he said to me, I couldn't believe this. So he sends me the Skype message and it says something to the effect of, you just want to make sure that Austin's prepared because I'm going to debate him. And then that's essentially going to be me versus the whole Globebusters team. And I wrote back to him and I'm just like, oh my God, you are so full of yourself. It's like, no, Ranty, you're debating Austin. And, you seem to think that, win or lose, the winner or loser of this is going to prove either the Earth is flat or it's a globe. And I go, that's just ridiculous. I go, and I told him, I go, I don't believe for 1 second that you believe in what you're saying. And you can tell because of the way he chooses his words so very carefully, about, I mean, you got to admit, the guy 5 years prior to this had dozens of flat Earth proofs, right? So all of these are just, all of a sudden negated, over this one stupid image, which is like, is it this one or something like this? Anyway, I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's this image right there. It's all negated supposedly over this image, and they're claiming that this proves that the Earth is a globe. Well, one of the things that's wrong with this is it's interesting, but whoever sent this picture cropped it in such a way that you couldn't see the rest of the picture, which of course is pretty damning to their case. So they're already setting things up to be incredibly.
Can I ask a question? It confuses me, and maybe I'm missing something. But with this image, and I was trying to kind of follow along, and I still don't really get it because. So I'm sitting at my desk right now. I'm facing the Sierra Nevada mountains, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what's, I'm looking east. And if I were to get in a certain position here, I could clearly make it so that the mountains over there are below the top of my computer monitor, right? So I'm looking at my computer monitor. I can lower my head in a way that the monitor would clearly be blocking all those mountains over there. Mm-hmm. So, but the mountains are taller than the computer by thousands of feet.
You go somewhere else with that logic, bro.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So, no, that's not true if you're a ball earther. Now, come on.
Because I can draw straight lines and the lines. And
I don't want to, guys. I don't want to do it too much because I want him to stumble into evisceration. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll wait till next Saturday to talk about it.
But it's all good. I'm just kidding. We can talk about it. But it's like, yeah, I mean, I was talking to him and I'm like, so are you willing to stake the claim then that the Earth is in fact the globe Earth model we were all taught with the radius value of 3959? And he literally won't do it. He just makes an ambiguous claim that quote unquote, this is impossible on a flat Earth. I'm like, okay, so is the Earth the ball that we were taught? And like, he won't say it.
And so is seeing Baron Furnace from where he was with his camera. So again, it's just there's a much easier path here. I talked about it on my Friday show. I don't need to get into it again, but there's a reason why he went the direction he did.
Yeah. Well, I have a couple theories on that.
Kind of like, yeah, like I basically, okay, so whenever, like what Bob's talking about, running it by the Globebusters or whatever, he said that to me when we were discussing this, and it was like a room of 60 people, and I kind of put him on blast, which is why I think he reluctantly agreed to debate me. But he's like, well, you need to go talk to Jaron and Bob and run it by them and let them coach you up and tell you what to say because you're going to be basically representing the Globebusters in this debate and stuff. I'm like, hey, man, stop self-projecting your need to run it by your handlers, bro. You're debating me. You know?
Exactly. That's exactly what I told him. It's like, look, dude, it's like Austin, you're debating Austin, not us, and Austin is, his own person. Austin makes his decisions. We don't. And it's just absurd that they say stuff like that. Like, oh, you have to run everything by King Bob. It's like, that's such horseshit. I've never told anybody what to do on this panel ever.
Bob found out about it when Ranty messaged him.
So is he planning on sitting on Byman Dan's lap the whole time or just half the time? Or is he going to sit in his own chair?
It's hard telling.
Yeah. He's really trying to get out of it, bro. So I'm just like, I don't have high hopes for it, but tentatively Saturday, we'll see.
Yeah, no, I think he did this for one of two reasons, or maybe both reasons. But I think that, and honestly, I do believe this, because I don't believe he believes for 1 second that this proves globe or anything like it. So the reason that he's doing this is either A, the money is good, right? Because when he was allowing Globe Earthers on and all this stuff, they would sit there and just give him all these super chats, and it would just got ridiculous, how much money he would make in super chats. But I think even above and beyond that, I think one of the reasons that he, kind of switched to the other side was the flack that he was getting from Oakley's group, right? Because they were, basically, Sleeping Warrior had started a suit against him, over Roxanne's thing, and that was all nonsense. And then he kind of got kicked out of their little club. And so, it could have been a combination of the money and, revenge. Oh, well, I'll just go over to the baller side or whatever. But no, as far as does he believe it, I don't believe it for 1 second that he does. You know, not after 5 years of how many things that did he come forward with saying this is impossible on a ball Earth, right? So now all of a sudden one image changes the game. I don't believe it. So
no, it doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, to me, I mean, like you said, it's the Roxanne thing. That was the beginning. That was the beginning of the end, right? The Roxanne thing was, anybody who goes back and listens to that, it's obvious what should have happened there. I don't care what happened in court. I don't care what happened with lawsuits. There's a right thing to do and a wrong thing to do, and clearly, that's not what happened there. So then, then he gets outs from Oakley's group. I mean, what is his other options? Then he got hounded so much for the Roxanne thing, he gave up his channel. So what's the next step? I think he was dying to find that one image that he could say, okay, I'll go with this, and then I'll become friends with these guys, and then I'll, I guess, parade around with conspiracy cats. So again, have we all seen evidence of one little piece where like, oh, that kind of does look like the Earth could be curved? Yeah, there's the mountain of evidence in the alternate direction.
Exactly. And anything that did look that way, we Rune Thorson says he was a baller all along. Well, maybe Rune. It could be. I don't know. But
well, we at least we know that they put a high price on flat earthers who turn around, because they even faked the one guy that came out in Simon Dan's channel, who I believe to be a total fake flat earther, like pretended to be a flat earther, played the role just to come out and say, "Oh, I finally see that it is a ball now."
Right.
And so they are looking for someone who's willing to turn coat, right? Who could make public stances against, as if that's going to make the only difference it's going to make is that they can say this guy was a flat earther and turn around, because it's such a rare thing and they know it very well. So
now I get to embarrass them. It's a win-win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, look at the title of this video. Famous flat earther declares the earth is a globe.
Right. Exactly.
I'm just like, oh my God.
No, super famous, man. Everyone knows him. Yeah.
Even the other guy that was ridiculous, guy nobody ever heard of, the guy that came out on Simon Dan, he also said he was an established flat earther and very active in the field.
I believe it.
The only thing that worries to me is that the guy is living inside the David's house.
Right.
So maybe David is here.
Yeah, that baller Dave guy. I know he's pretty suspect.
Just body language here. Just looking at Ranty, he looks like something is wrong. He knows what he's doing.
He does. And the way he chooses his words so very, very carefully, about what he will get behind and what he won't get behind, and he'll divert really, really well. I mean, I got to admit they're training him well, in their tactics. But yeah,
the last person you want to talk to, the last person you want to get into a debate with is somebody who's already admitted that they can't wait to go back to watching Netflix and being brainwashed, which is what he said. He doesn't want to be awake to lies anymore. He wants to watch Netflix and sit on the couch and drink beer. So that's not the kind of person I'm trying to talk to about anything. So whatever, it's good that Austin's going to be the debate.
No, me either. I just think someone needs to expose him. Like I think that he needs to be like thoroughly dismantled live time.
Yep, because it's there's clearly a reasoning for all this, but yeah, to me that's just an insane thought. I don't know how you wake up and then say I want to go back to sleep and I want to be brainwashed by the TV, and then to call Flat Earth a cult, which is just hilarious to me. He makes it sound like on the podcast that we've all been calling his phone off the hook and we're losing our minds over it, when really nobody cared. It's like, oh, Ranty, later Ranty. So that's not a cult when people dismiss you because you left, like, well, big deal, right? Nobody's there trying to pull him back in, like, what are we going to do without Ranty? So it's clearly not a cult. It's just a lot of people who have agreed that it's tough to see what we've seen and change your mind. And then when you have somebody change your mind or change their mind, it would be great if they provided, because we would all like to change our mind if there was evidence presented. But this one photo that Ranty didn't even take, that he has no idea what telephoto lens were they using? Doesn't know any of that. But that's going to be enough evidence after everything you've seen. I can't. It's hard to believe, Bob, like you said.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see, him talk to Austin about it. But I don't think you're going to have much problem with him, Austin, because he's so unsure of himself. And, if you start asking him very pointed questions, people are going to observe how he reacts to it, and that's the first thing I notice is he gets all uncomfortable and his body language starts changing, and it's clear that he doesn't believe for a second what he's talking about. So, whatever. Okay. So, let's, I guess, move on from that, unless you have anything else you want to say about it, Austin?
Nah, I'll let everyone know updated to if he tries to run away or not, what he's already trying to do. And then, don't worry, guys, I got it.
Yep. Hey, you guys?
It comes down to Muppet Vision again, doesn't it?
Pretty much, yeah, because they cannot take perspective into account. For them, it's like, no. Mathematically, the numbers say the mountain is this high,
right?
And the flat Earth perspective is when you're looking at something, the further away it gets, the smaller it gets, and that's the angular size reduction. But they don't ever take that into consideration.
No, and I'll tell you what the angular size reduction is. It's the fact that if you do plane surveying, remember I had this whole debate with Jesse Kozlowski.
Mm-hmm.
That what they're seeing and calling drop is just the reduction in size of the stick in the distance. And they take out their theodolite and measure that and call it drop. It's not drop. That got smaller in the distance, just like the mountain gets smaller in the distance. So you can't just draw straight lines of where things should be. That's not how vision works, unless you want to turn Muppet Vision the sideways and draw lines like we're stick people in Mario Brothers 1.
Yeah, exactly. And they cannot seem to get that. And of course, one of the first people, that I saw that figured that out a long time ago was P-Brain, right? Because who was the guy? I can't remember he was one of the trolls, the famous trolls, where he's doing all the math and saying the math doesn't lie, but he was doing it all based on, the side view, right? Instead of first person perspective type of view. And when you do it that way, there is no angular size reduction at all. And so, that's how they're claiming, that's how they're doing their math. And they cannot deviate from that, because if and when they do, and they apply the proper perspective mathematics to it, it's over, right? Nothing then makes any sense on the ball Earth. And that's why they avoid it like the plague, right? And that's also another reason why they've come up with this ridiculous nonsense about, well, you can't see the horizon, you can't see the geometric horizon on a ball Earth. It's like, so you're telling me that if I'm 6 foot tall and I'm looking out, you're telling me I can't see 3 miles away where the land should be meeting the sky?
Right. 3 miles, wide open ocean.
Yeah, it's like, give me a break, man. But they honestly press that, and they expect people to believe it. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Can't see the horizon, but you can see boats go behind it.
Exactly. No, you can't. But yet they're still happy to take on, using the globe math, which requires, of course, a tangent to the what? Horizon, right?
Right.
Ay, caramba. I mean, you know what? They're just so pathetically lost. It's beyond belief. So, this battle was over a long time ago, I think. But still, and we're going to be talking about this today. There are people that want to come up with an all-conclusive test, and I think there's a couple good candidates out there, and we'll talk about those. But we'll move past this for now. And I will say, you guys, Jern, are any of you familiar with this guy, DATRH?
Yes, he did put different titles in Dave's videos.
Yeah, he's pretty funny, actually. He's like a flat earther, but he pretends that he is. Oh, that's weird. Austin's in here twice. Okay, hey Austin. How come? There you go. That was
sorry,
weird.
I was lagging. Yeah, I was lagging. The internet was kind of tripping, so my bad for all the. I'm sure that was pretty brutal.
Oh, no worries. So anyway, this guy, he's really, really funny. He really is. And so what he's doing is he's kind of doing a play on Nathan Oakley's panel, where Legolas is Arwen and Ethan Woodley is Nathan Oakley. Snoozing soldier is supposedly sleeping warrior, whatever. And he does this play on, what's going on. And of course, this happens to be about, Ranty defecting. So I'm not going to play it here, but I just thought I'd bring it up for everybody. DATRH, and I will put it in the show notes because it is pretty funny. And he's did a couple of these. They're pretty good. And it's just good to see people, do the lighter side and, take
Why
the
does
comedic.
it say GED at the beginning?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what that GED meant.
Globe Earth destroyed.
Oh. Globe Earth destroyed. Okay.
Nice. That was pretty fast.
All right. Excellent. All right. Let's see what else we have. All right. So let's go ahead and cover these really quick. Level Earth Observer has come out with a couple more videos, and I'm going to go ahead. You know what? I'm going to have to reshare this with sound because I hate it when I do this. And next week, I'm definitely going to be back on, I know I said that last week and the week before, but the next week I definitely will be because we just been trying to get some other stuff taken care of here. But my office is all shut up, which is really cool. So we're going to Chrome tab and all right, here we go. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to play a little part of this where basically what's going on is you can see right through this guy's head as he comes over behind this astronaut. So it's pretty funny. So let's go ahead and give this a watch.
An uncomfortable harness. And then we've got the incredible see-through head.
Can you guys hear it okay?
Absolute legend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pay attention to our mate front left here. It's a bizarre scene anyway, but let's just pay attention to our mate front left. As it would seem, he's not very comfortable in his harness here. He's having to adjust it a little bit and try and get a little bit more comfortable. So let's have a look. Just pay attention to matey front left.
Houston, we are ready for the event. Houston, Huntsville, Moscow, Scuba, and Munich.
Scuba?
Touch of the itchies and scratchies. Or he's a
Scuba or Cuba?
What's more?
I think it said scuba.
Scuba.
Houston, we are ready for the event.
Got to address the scuba team.
Houston, Huntsville, Moscow, Scuba, and Munich.
You get that harness nice.
I think the guy is searching for his wallet.
Hanging there looking like that. From a harness. Yeah, it can't be much fun. Pretending to be in a weightless environment. And of course, if you are on a harness there, the interaction behind you, i.e. where the wires will be, might be a bit sketchy. So should we zoom in there on our mate behind you on the left? Well, on the right at the moment, but he's going to appear on the left and he's going to be turned into an absolute legend as his head becomes see-through. Who would have thought? Behind a man that looks like he's hanging from a harness. Strange stuff. Bear with me. Now we zoom in with these two space legends and get all up close and personal.
Heroes.
All we're really interested in is matey boy in the background when he goes behind our uncomfortable harness-loving friend here, and we see him on the left side, of course, where the wires would be. And the interaction there is terrible, as where they've obviously faded out the harness wires and matey boy's put his head there hasn't really worked out too well. And as a result, our friend's head becomes see-through. You've got to love some of these Astro Dames. So let's have a look. It's in slow motion. We've got the star just to the right there. We've seen him before. An absolute legend as far as breaking down and highlighting the absurdity of all of this. Now here he comes. Peekaboo style, coming behind his mate's head. Get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the see-through head man. You can see the wiring behind him that leads up to his eye. You can see the background of the ISS. Part of his face is see-through. Very strange stuff. It's as if our mate, the see-through head man, has got in the way of NASA fading out the harness of our mate up the front, who's got a touch of the itchies and scratchies as he tries to get his nice harness all comfortable.
Yeah, clearly just a video compression artifact, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. So there's that one, and I thought that was good. So we just add these on. You know, somebody somewhere, I'm sure, is keeping track of all of these. Here's another good one. Now
this is brand new, right?
Yeah, this one came out May 7th. Yeah, which was just 2 days ago. And
it never ends. It doesn't get better. That's one of the things we've been waiting. I've been hoping to get more challenging, but.
Yeah, exactly. So let's play this one. And what's interesting about this one, well, first of all, the camera angles are crazy, that we look at on this. And you have to wonder, how they even get these camera angles. But the one of the really cool things about this is, of course, the rocket starts glitching out and part of it disappears. And the sales manager just keeps talking about it, like it's the greatest thing in the world. So I'm going to pick it up from about right here. And let's go.
I've got to review Blue Origin's work for the last month to realize how ridiculous all of this is in the first place. Bear with me. And why not start here? A recent launch by Blue Origin, which essentially shows us a CGI glitch out on the top of the rocket here. Strange, though, that the commentator, Ariane, who also happens to be the sales director, doesn't mention the CGI glitch out on the top of her rocket. Very strange, that. Let's have a quick look. Pay particular attention, if you haven't seen it before, to the top of the rocket here, as in a few seconds, it's going to glitch out.
Oh, yeah, look at her go. Mission Control has confirmed.
Oh, you must be so proud of that CGI rocket, Ariane. So proud. Problem is, when we come back, my dear, it seems to be glitching out there. It's almost as if it's a CGI rocket and not a real one. For the record, no one doubts Ariane works for a firework company and real rockets take off. But clearly, they fill in a lot of gaps with CGI rockets. I wonder why. Is it because they can't really do what they claim to do? And of course, they claim the Earth being a ball. And their evidence? Well, let's have a look at that. And this was cited as proof of curvature, which essentially was a Blue Origin test launch from recently, where we got this image from 62 miles up, apparently, of course, displaying curvature. Problem is, when I viewed the footage myself, and I took an image from ground level, and then I took an image from supposedly 62 miles up, and I blended them together, surprise, surprise, the supposed curvature is exactly the same, as we can see now on our screen. Ground level, supposedly space. Ground level, space. Exactly the same, proving that what we're seeing here is a result of either the windows and the design of the rocket or the lens we're viewing this through. Of course, exposing all this nonsense anyway. We know the globe's daft. Space, we know, is literally firework displays, CGI meltdowns, pantomime like this that requires the discernment of a pebble to break it down. And before we go, let's go back to Ariane. As it would seem, is getting on top for the CGI rocket crew. Bear with me. And what better place to finish than watching Ariane's CGI rocket coming into land again? Let's have a look. Take note of the height of the rocket. I don't know, 30, 40 foot up there.
1,450 feet.
Statistics at the bottom say the booster altitude is at 1,449 feet. And apparently, according to these guys, it's coming in at 280 miles an hour.
Look out below.
The cartoon rocket doesn't look at that height and doesn't seem to be coming in that fast. Ariane, you might want to have a word with the data department and get them to communicate with the CGI department. It really helps the lie to have the data coordinate and match the cartoon CGI rocket. Otherwise, it's just not going to work, my dear.
Landing gear deployed.
Notice how quickly they removed the data there when they realized.
Oh, look at that smooth landing.
Oh, no, yeah.
And touchdown. Welcome back, New Shepard.
Oh my God, what a beautiful landing.
I think that was one of the smoothest landings I've seen of this one. It almost looks real. It looks like CGI. I know some of you on the internet seem to think that. Believe me, that is a reusable rocket that.
Ariane, no one doubts you do fire real rockets up, but clearly a lot of what you show us is CGI. We get glitches left, right, and center. Your data department clearly here didn't communicate with your CGI department. Let's go back and watch this before we go in all its slow motion, gory glory. 2 seconds. Let's watch this cartoon rocket come in, make a mockery of the globe, Blue Origin, New Shepard, SpaceX, NASA, the data department, the CGI department, and even the sales director, Ariane herself. Take it away, boys. Look at the data down there. Look at the cartoon rocket coming in. No wonder Ariane's having to address this charade. Dear, oh dear, quick, get rid of that data. Look at the state of it. I've highlighted it before. I'm going to come back to it.
The fire
until
comes
the
in.
penny drops. They're pushing the space tourist industry, but we've only got to look at what they've cited over the last 4 to 6 weeks to realize what a charade all of it is. CGI rockets, data and CGI rocket meltdowns where they failed to communicate with each other, supposed globe proof where all it was dodgy windows or a GoPro lens, and of course CGI glitches happening on the top of the rockets. Clearly ridiculous.
All right.
It's going to reach the, or you know, it's going to be reach a day where supposedly they are going to, you know, you are going to buy a ticket and at least go a little bit up more than a military plane and trying to experience some of that, or you think they never even can create just a rocket to go up, I don't know, 50, 60 kilometers and then go back and, you know, slowly touch down?
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is they are presented this like it was the most amazing technology ever, and it's just a piece of metal going up and landing like a plane. But instead of going to like an aeroplane going horizontal, it's going vertical. But in terms of the technology, they are trying to, for me, you know, it's like they're trying to present this like we are making the impossible come true. And it's just like a rocket going up and going down.
Yeah, I totally agree, Yeru. You know, and we're actually going to be looking at one of these launches here after I end the YouTube stream, where, you know, you look at it and you're going, is this a balloon? Because it really does look at that. And Karen B posted it. Oh, this, yeah, this
stuff coming off of it.
So this is the China Yaogan 34 satellite, and they're saying that this is a normal occurrence. It says a long March 4C rocket launch, the Yaogan 34 remote sensing satellite from Yukon satellite launcher, blah blah blah. The rocket sheds insulation tiles during liftoff, a normal occurrence. It's like, you got to be kidding me. This is normal? I'd call that real bad engineering.
What the heck? It sheds insulation panels. Yeah, it looks like paper coming out of it.
It does. It's like, what the hell? I've never seen that happen on any rocket before. It looks like it's just disintegrating.
The heck is this?
Or all the paper mache's coming off, or I don't know. But, you know, they play it off like it's absolutely normal engineering. Who in their right mind would engineer something that would do that? That is just
NASA do it.
It's so absurd. It really is. Yes. It sheds insulation tiles during a liftoff. A normal occurrence. Yes, this is normal, ladies and gentlemen.
If space.com says so, it's got to be, right?
That's got to be true. Got to be true. Mm-hmm. I wonder why SpaceX and NASA rockets don't do that. I guess their engineers aren't as good. But anyway. Yeah. All right, guys.
What's with that thruster power there? What's that kind of fire?
Oh, in the back? I don't know. See, part of this, I really have to wonder if part of it is CGI or part of it is like rocket boosters on a balloon. Uh-huh. Because that honestly is what, you know, it really does look like to me. So I don't know what to think of that, to be honest, Rodrigo. It is bizarre.
There's so much variation in that. One of the other things that I think I want to try to dig out is the capsules after they return, because obviously they cook them as props somewhere to fake the reentry. But I really I'm trying to collect images from them to look closely at how, I mean, they look fake, but just to see the variation that there is, because this reentry story is a total joke, of course.
Well, you know, talking about reentry stories, yesterday, the last week here in Argentina, beside the health situation, I don't want to pronounce any critical name for the algorithm, but beside that, in all news here in Argentina, they have been talk about the re-entry of part of the Chinese rocket out of control supposedly, but man, 24 hours, transmitting the supposedly trajectory of the rocket, and start predicting like, oh man, we have only a window of chance of 5 hours. We need to be very concerned about this because could go down in any city, and they can destroy
from New York to Australia, right? They say,
yeah, man, but all the time talking about the Chinese, and of course behind that, they trying to tell the story about this is a rocket part of constructing the equivalent to the ISS, but with China. So they start talking about space and the space stations. In this case, China is going to compete with the United States and Russia and Europe and blah, blah, blah. And then get back to, okay, but this part of the rocket could crash in your house. So be aware, follow the news. Crazy thing. Of course, nothing happened. Supposedly, the rocket touched down in the sea. I don't know exactly which part, but
where nobody can find it or see it.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic. All right, guys. So the next thing we're coming up with, we're going to cover this, but right now I'm going to end the YouTube stream. And guys, if you want to see the continuation of the show, I would invite you to subscribe to Rokfin. You can see the link going by there, rokfin.com/Globebusters. Come over and join us. We're getting several flat earthers that are being accepted to the platform. So we are getting people to migrate over. It's really awesome. And the non-censorship is really a wonderful thing. So, yeah. So otherwise, if not, if, money's a little tight and that's a problem for you, we got you covered there too. We've got the Wednesday night show, which people are really, really liking the Wednesday night show. So I'm happy with it so far. So you can join us on Wednesday nights. And if there's anything important, we'll certainly get you caught up there. But for now, we're going to end the YouTube stream and cut on over to Rokfin. So thanks, everybody on YouTube, for joining us. We'll see you later.
Peace.
Peace. Note.